Hello, hello, and welcome back to Space Engineers on the Xbox, on the Series X, and we're going to talk today about hydrogen ships, or small grid hydrogen ships, because with a lot of new players, congratulations to Keen on the PlayStation launch of the game. It's now out, so if you play on PlayStation, or you want to play on PlayStation, you no longer need to play the beta, you can just play and buy the full game. In fact, I do believe the same with the Xbox version. If you bought the full game, you'll have access to the beta. Anyway, so hydrogen is a fuel in the game that is generated from ice. Now, when you're generating hydrogen on a small grid, and this is why I've built this little platform here, I just need to finish it off, pop a rotor in. I've gone to, there it is, just there we go, pop a rotor in and do my usual when you're playing in survival, grind the head off, and then we just want to pop a panel. It doesn't matter where it is, because all you need to do is access the grid. Go to the rotor, add the small head, and then pop your rotor lock on so your grid doesn't spin around. And from the small head, we can put down some blocks. Make sure that the blocks you put down, like so. And I'm building in line mode. And if you want to know how to do that, it's very, very simple. You can either select it from the options when you start, or you can change it on the fly by clicking in the right stick, making sure you are on the build menu, and just pressing the line, plane, single block until it says line. So hold the left stick, tap the right bumper until it says line, then confirm it by centering the left stick and just tapping RB. And you'll have confirmation. So we build out a little platform here, and I've said before, reason we build off a rotor is we can slap a battery or two on here and it will provide power to any attached subgrids, large or small. Let's talk hydrogen though. So if you go to your production and medical and then across to gas and logistics, you'll see there's the O2 H2 generator, and it comes in this size for small grid and the Great Walking size for large, and I'm changing grid sizes by holding down the left bumper and tapping X, like so. If I want to remove a block from my controls, LBB, and I can remove that block, close the window. Same for tools, LBB, and you can put your tools away. And it also works on the paint tool. So you press B to close that, and then to actually get rid of the paint tool itself, LB and B. That said, one hydrogen generator on its own isn't going to do much. And if you look at the way it's designed, it needs ice. So attached to it, it's going to require at least a cargo box full of ice. And again. So with a cargo box full of ice, and it doesn't need ice when you're playing in creative, by the way, but it will need it in let me get my head on straight a second. We'll need it in survival mode. So, we now need to store the hydrogen. Now, if you notice, that is the hydrogen tank for large grid. We want hydrogen tanks for small grid, and you can see these hydro tanks here are like this, and we connect them in across this way. Now if we have our hydrogen thrusters, we want small grid hydro thrusters. And you'll notice that the hydrogen gas will flow through the grid. So hydrogen is an extremely powerful gas in this game. If we wanted to make this into a hydrogen ship, we'd need to do a couple of things. One, we'd need to ensure there was a flow of hydrogen throughout the whole grid in the directions we needed for flight. So to convert this, we're going to need to add some extra things. For a start, we're going to need batteries, and we've got large grid batteries, but we want the batteries like this. If we block here though, we're going to lose hydrogen, and at the moment we have no way of getting hydrogen onto this ship. So the best way to do this is to rethink the design. So we pop open the build tool and get rid of that. So now we have to think, where are we going to put our connector to be able to fuel a ship like this, and also get battery power on? What we need, again, is our cargo container, but we want to think our cargo container through a bit more. Now if we do it like this, we're not going to get any hydrogen at all to our system. Now a large cargo container isn't going to fit there because of the way we've got the platform. So when you're building, my advice, since I built this specifically like this, is to start. And what you don't want to do is, actually, if I cut that, that will drop, and then we can just click in the right stick, and you can copy, cut, and so on the grid. And we just want to make a few changes to this here and cut it just to give us a bit more room to work with. What you don't want to do though is cut it completely off, because it will drop. Okay, so looking at this, we could make the next step up, cargo container wise. We'll add a bit more weight to the ship, but now we have ways of getting ice on it. In fact, and this is what these build sessions are really good for, is iterating on a concept. So instead of that there, like it is, if we rotate it like so, you'll see we can put our connector to the bottom or to the top, depending on how excuse me, you want to dock the thing. Well, that means that we can have a connector underneath it. And now we've got some room to play with. If this is going to be on a planet with oxygen, we don't have to worry about oxygen at all. And we're only using one generator. My rule of thumb is to use at least 2 of these generators to 1 of these hydrogen tanks. Or in the case of this, you could use the 2 small tanks and 2 generators. The more generators you have pushing hydrogen into the system, the more you're going to have to play with, and the longer the ship can stay in the air. So now we could put a couple of batteries on like this, and then finish it off with, I think, just the cockpit, like so. And we're getting there. We need at least 1 more component when we're making any flying ship. And you want a gyroscope to allow it to turn. And now we have forward thrust. We could put 1 hydrogen thruster here and create the thrust we need, but we've got 2 here. And with hydrogen, my suggestion, always balance it in the direction. So what we can do to make our lives somewhat simpler, just for this very simple build, is what we're after. Thinking about it, just thinking what I want to do. That's it, conveyors. Actually, we can do it like this, be even easier. So, a small conveyor on that direction, and one here is going to give us all the points we need to attach thrusters to. And for lift, I'm thinking that with hydrogen, probably 2 would provide enough lift on this, but you'd probably think about 4. So let's just put another conveyor here and another one here, and so on this we're going to want a large excuse me, there we go, hydrogen thruster there and there, so that's front and back. We are in atmosphere, but if you're going to make this into a drone, my suggestion would be either to do 2 like that, or just 1 if you're not going to be overly bothered about controlling things. But if this flips over, you want the kind of power to lift it. Now, if you've got block damage on, this will start damaging the block underneath it. And you can see, the hydrogen thrust is already fighting the gravity on that side. And we want to balance left and right. So just pop hydrogen thruster here and here, like so, and you'll see that we've got all the directions covered on this. So we're looking fairly good. We can probably afford now to cut this free and work on it a bit more in the air. And I'd say we haven't got to worry if we're playing creative. Just strip back those extra blocks. And we can strip out. Be careful here, do not accidentally delete your rear thing. You must have a few problems. So and what you'll find with hydrogen is that it will provide a greater amount of lift, so you can use it to carry cargo, you can use it to do a lot of things. It's the most efficient fuel in the game. You just have to build out your craft to make sure that you utilise it properly. And I say with this we can put a connector here at the bottom to ensure that we can actually land on a connector and just utilize it like that. And that, I mean, that is your basic hydrogen little thing. It wouldn't have enough fuel to get into space if you want to do that. Well, I do actually have my build of the what I call my junk rocket, which can get you into space and back if you build it out correctly. And there's a tutorial on that if you look on the channel. You're probably also going to need to look at how best to fit landing gear. We're going to have to build out some blocks to give us at least room, probably about 3 blocks, just to, and you don't want to block your actually I probably don't even need the 3 there because that's coming down. In fact, I wouldn't put that underneath there. I'm tempted to build a little bit of a thing out here like this. Let's have a look. And when you're putting landing gear down, look at the struts, and you can see the correct way to place it is actually like that, with the short part of the gear at the back, the long part at the front. So just make sure the strut is placed in the correct way. And then if you want to make it look a little nicer at the front there, you can just pop in a cosmetic light armor block, push up on the D-pad, rotate it, and just make it look a little more interesting. Do this and do this, then push up again and you'll get access to this one, and then just rotate that into place like so, and like so. And that is really all you need to make a little scooty hydrogen ship. And you'll see it's quite effective at manoeuvring with the 2 thrusters this way and 2 thrusters the other way. It will work quite well. And just as a last thing, what you want to do is you want to assign at least your landing gear to the D-pad. And to prepare it for doing that, you just want to do this. Make a group of your landing gear. So RB and A on each of those. Push the left stick across till it says block group. Type the word, say like gear. Save it off. And then go back again and turn off auto lock and used for parking, and that will set all of those 3 like that. Then we just want to open the toolbar config. We'll pop it on down on the D-pad, so push down on the D-pad till the toolbar config opens up. Tap the right bumper 3 times, press A on gear and choose the option with A, switch lock. And then when you get down to the ground, and I don't want to go too fast because hydrogen thrust is very powerful, as I said. Just adjust a bit. Just adjust a bit more. And a bit more. And a bit more till we're down on the ground, ready to lock. And all sorted. You can also group your thrusters in the same way. So while in this menu, if you want to group your thrusters, the best way to do this is to type the word thrust, and you'll get all of these. So just hold down RB, hold down A, and then just tap down on your D-pad until you get to the last thruster. Change the name like so, hit save, and now I may have picked hydrogen. Something may have been added to this group by accident, so hold on. Let's just do it again to make sure, because you want the thrust override to show, but you don't want to trigger the thrust override, otherwise your thrusters won't work properly. Clear that, and then if I bring my thrust up again, you'll see that my thrusters are all set. You probably want them on left on the D-pad. Go to groups again, this time thrust, toggle block on off, and then you can conserve fuel by turning them on and off. And yeah, that is your little basic tutorial on the flow of hydrogen for small grid and how to build this little contraption here to make a little hydrogen ship in creative mode. I do suggest playing the game in creative mode just to play around with designs like this and learn the ins and outs. You can then switch to survival, follow my new player guides for survival, which I will leave in the cards at the end of the video. But there you go. So that's all I wanted to do with this one. I will be going back to my survival save. I may start another survival save right from the beginning, so new players on the PlayStation can follow through with what to do when you first hit Earth-like planet and how to get established just as a basic base. Or you can go through my channel, look at the videos, and just look up the playlist new player guide. It should work for PlayStation. Anyway, take care, stay safe, have fun, enjoy the game. Loads more to come from me, loads more to come from Keen Software, and I will catch you definitely in the next one. Oh, and one more point. Thank you very much. I hate doing this, but again, thanks for the likes, thanks for the subscribes. It does mean a lot to me and to the channel. To watch it grow over the last 3 years is superb. I really do appreciate the support. Keep it coming. Keep it coming in the comments. Keep it coming in the community tab. And I will be doing Starfield content. I will be doing probably some form of playthrough of Starfield. I'll also be looking at outpost building and all the cool stuff. I'll be trying to build some cool ships and share them with you. And just have fun with that game in general. I can't wait for it. Anyway, I've waffled on too much. As they say, bye for now. Ta-ta.